Welcome to a world of thrills, a world of drama, of capes and tights, a world where death is a revolving door. Welcome to the Geek Matrix.
At that time, welcome, folks, to the Geek Matrix, episode 199. We are so close to number 200. We are starting 45 minutes late today because Josh and I have been talking for 45 minutes, not realizing that we were not actually live.
Yep.
So apologies to all our stream viewers today. And for the podcast listeners, it really doesn't matter because you're probably listening to this next week. I know we release on Fridays. I don't know how busy you are over the weekend. You might be listening to it on the way to work Monday morning. I completely get that. I do that sometimes too.
We talk a lot, so it'll be on the way back home from work.
Yeah, and maybe a bit Tuesday morning for the outro.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. Yeah. I don't know, like my commute to work on Tuesday and part of my lunch break, I was able to watch the entirety of SmackDown and Raw. Because that's how long my fucking bus rides took.
Damn, dude.
They were fucking busy.
That is 5 hours worth of television.
Yeah, well, yeah, I skipped through commercials, of course.
Still.
Yeah.
It's like 3.5 hours.
Yeah. Like, I was 10, maybe 15 minutes late to work Tuesday morning because my bus was so fucking slow because it was busy. Mm-hmm. And then because I was late getting to work, I was late leaving work, which means I missed my regular bus, and then the next two buses didn't show up. So I was standing at the bus stop for half an hour waiting, and then the bus was fucking slow.
Cool.
So I got home like 40 minutes late than I usually do. So I had the time. Maybe I had like 10 minutes left of Raw by the time I got home, but it still wasn't much. I just finished the main event. Yeah, they were pretty interesting shows. Pretty good this week.
Looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah. I will not be able to watch King and Queen of the Ring Saturday because we're going to be at an anime convention.
Oh.
So Sunday morning, I'll be watching King and Queen of the Ring. I keep wanting to call it Crown Jewel, but it's not Crown Jewel.
It's not Crown Jewel. That's the other thing.
It would honestly make sense if it was called Crown Jewel, because King and Queen, it's a crown, but I get why they want to call it King and Queen of the Ring as well. Yeah. It's probably an excuse for Saudi Arabia to have 2 pay-per-views in 1 year.
Maybe,
yeah.
They're all over the world.
Yeah. They're putting the world in world wrestling entertainment. Hell yeah. Anyway, so we were talking about 45 minutes worth of comics, not DC. So we can compress that into about 5 minutes worth of talking. We talked about
me being really behind on my Marvel comic reading.
Yes.
I do have. I mean, in addition to the ones that I'm reading for the DC show, I'm reading. Space Ghost just started, but Space Ghost, Thundercats
thrill me. Issue 1 didn't thrill me, but it's interesting.
It got me interested. It got me interested in it. Yes.
Yeah.
So, I've got Space Ghost. I'm reading Thundercats, Ultimate Black Panther, but I haven't read the most recent issue yet. All of Ultimate Spider-Man, and as Rob reminded me, I've yet to start Ultimate X-Men, but that's only 3 issues, so that's not going to be much. But I've got all of that reading, plus Fantastic Four that I am trying to catch up on. And
you're severely behind. You're on issue 7.
Yeah,
I'm
up
on
to issue
21.
7. Yeah,
I think 20 just came out 2 weeks ago or last week.
All right.
Yeah. But by now, I think in issue 7, they've kind of resolved. I mean, no, the team is back together, but they're still waiting for the building to return, right?
Yeah, that hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay.
They're together though.
Keep in mind, and I think it's either between 7 and 8 or 8 and 9 is the annual, which ties into the story a little bit. It's a Doctor Doom based story, but it ties into the overall story.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly where it's placed. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's a necessary read to get the overall story, but it's Doctor Doom and it's weird.
All right. Well, damn it. I guess I'll have to get one then.
Yeah.
I just
that. Yeah?
I said I just looked and I do not have it yet.
Oh, okay.
I figured it was an annual, but if it ties into the story, you know I'm going to be there. So
yeah, I mean annuals are always hit or miss for whether it's part of the ongoing story or not.
Well, I mean, goddamn, maybe I'm just used to the way DC does it because it almost never ties into the real shit.
Yeah. I mean, Marvel's typically the same. There's that rare occasion that the annual does tie into the main story, but other times, most of the time, annuals are just kind of one-off, oversized stories that don't have a place anywhere else, which understandable. Yeah.
Understandable.
So yeah, we were talking about that. Also, big announcement out of Marvel early this week. Jonathan Hickman and Greg Capullo are doing a 5-issue miniseries coming later in the next few months titled Wolverine Revenge. And as far as we remember, it's the first time these two have paired up. But it's a hell of a pairing. Seriously, god tier pairing that I cannot wait to see on the page.
Hickman and Capullo, not Wolverine and Revenge.
I mean, both.
No, I mean Wolverine and Revenge. They've teamed up before.
Oh, God, yeah. But I can never not wait to see Wolverine and Revenge pairing up. Because they go so well together, you know? They really do. Yeah. You got a cover art teaser on Capullo's Instagram and Twitter.
I bet you.
Of the cover for issue 1, and it looks stellar. Capullo drawing Wolverine is a match made in heaven.
Yeah. Capullo with a pen is the match made.
Hell yeah. I'm still like the run of death metal. I was following his shit heavily on social media and at least on Instagram, and I was he kept what
you stupid addicted to it, don't you?
at least like Capullo at the time, I was following him heavily during death metal, but every time there was a new issue leading in, he'd post some clips of his process drawing some panels, right? And I think it was later on there was 8 issues? It was in the last 2 or 3 issues anyway. There was a big group shot panel where like all the heroes and villains were together, and it was like hundreds of people ready together to fight. And he showed his process of drawing that, and he was like zooming in 5 times to get the detail on the Penguin's umbrella. Like, holy fuck, dude. He said it took him like 10, 12 hours to draw that one panel.
Oh, I have no doubt.
16 hours to draw that one panel. And there was something like 100 characters in there. It was nuts.
I have no doubt whatsoever.
Yeah, it was a sight to see. That clip lives rent free in my head as well. I'm still like every so often I just replay it in my head. I love it. So yeah, there was that, and then we were talking about the Energon universe because this week saw the last issue of Cobra Commander, which, spoiler alert for anybody who's not reading it, or is currently reading it and has not read issue 5 yet. It does end, and I guess not much of a spoiler because you could kind of figure it was going to happen. It ends with the formation of Cobra.
Dun,
Surprise,
dun,
surprise. I mean,
dun.
could you not figure that was going to happen? With the Cobra Commander in his full cape and weird ass Nazi-like helmet. Which also, coincidentally, very much like Megatron. So, now that I think about it, very much like Megatron's helmet and Darth Vader.
Yeah,
Well then.
interesting. My son has gotten into a nerd thing, and that makes me so happy. Because I can't get him to get into comic books anymore. Like, he's decided that that's just not going to happen anymore, which bums me out. But still, anyway, he's into that now. So, shoot, have to excuse this. I was double checking with the boss man here on what annual to get.
Yeah, check out 2022 annual. I don't think it's a 2023. 2023 is part of this whole weird Contest of Chaos thing that I wasn't reading it, so I don't really know what it's about.
Gotcha. Okay. Anyway, finish what you were talking about. My bad.
Let me just double check that I have it right. Oh, that's not it.
But yeah, so anyway, like for his birthday, then he asks for a monitor, a new Chromebook, a larger desk with some outlets on the top and LED lighting, and a really cool Megatron.
Oh, right on.
It's like I want computer stuff, I want gaming stuff, I want this, I want that, and then I want a really cool looking Megatron.
Hell yeah. As you should. Which Megatron does he want?
See, that's the thing is like you want to ask those probing questions of your kid, but if you do that with a child who's smart, it takes them like 0 seconds to figure out, oh, so I'm picking on my own present.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So I'm going for the cool and looks badass factor over top of which particular, like, do I get him the tank one or do I get him the gun one kind of question.
Okay, I'm actually wrong. So don't worry about searching for the annual. It was an oversized issue, but that's because issue 7 was legacy number 700.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So if that's the issue you're currently reading, that's the issue I'm talking about. That's Doctor Doom centric.
All right. Let me just close down Amazon. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're back.
There's a giant size Fantastic Four I missed. Where the hell? What is this about?
What's that all about?
Curious Rex. Oh, Fabian Nacia, though. Back in February. I gotta check that out later. Great. What's that about then? Right. So Cobra Commander ended with the formation of Cobra and potential deals with, and I don't know damn lickety split about G.I. Joe. I just know that they were real American heroes and fought against the villains of America. But beyond that, that really don't fucking know shit. So I don't know how the villains coincided with each other or what, but Cobra Commander did end up by working with Destro.
Yeah, so Cobra Commander is obviously in charge of Cobra. He's the leader. He is in cahoots with Destro. They are in cahoots
the leader of Mars.
Right.
Okay.
And they are in cahoots almost only out of necessity. They hate each other with exceptional prejudice.
Oh, that was definitely apparent in this last issue.
And the Countess, she's loyal to Cobra, but she also has this strange loyalty to Destro. And if I spoiled something by saying that then
Well,
I'm sorry.
as far
But,
as I know, in the comics, she's not met either of those men because Cobra just formed,
Well,
so
no,
she hasn't interacted with them yet.
and then I didn't say a loyalty to Cobra Commander. I said a loyalty to Cobra.
Oh no, that's
But
why I mean,
ultimately-
Cobra. That's why I said Cobra just formed.
Yeah,
So
But,
she hasn't seen Cobra yet.
and she's still a part of the Joes right now, right?
I mean, the Joes have also just formed. This is very
That's true.
early
That's
on.
true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true. That's true.
she has in the comics so far she's had a history as a spy, but I don't know if she's had any ties to Mars and Destro
Gotcha.
yet.
Okay.
But that would be the only one she could have so far.
Well, ultimately, generally speaking, about her character is that she's loyal to Cobra, she's loyal to Destro, and ultimately she's actually just in it just for herself.
Yeah, that
So,
was that
if
seemed
there's-
very apparent.
Yeah, she's very fluid that way for sure. She goes back and forth between Cobra and Destro, but the whole time she'll work it. She'll work the Joes too.
Yeah,
It's like
she definitely had a double agent kind of vibe to her.
you can't trust women in head to toe black latex suits.
Unless you're
can't.
Black Widow.
No, you can't trust Black Widow. She's dressed head to toe in latex. She's there to fuck something up.
Yeah, but not you. Unless you're a bad guy. She never fucked Hawkeye up unless he deserved it.
She met him at a particular point in time, though.
Yeah, but then after that,
Had she met beforehand,
But
she
after
very
that-
well could have murderized him. She could
she
have killed
got
him
out
until
of
he
the
died
Red
from it.
Room, and I'm specifically talking about Scarlett Johansson MCU style Black
Yeah.
Widow. After she got out of the Red Room and joined Shield, they became partners for life. Even during Civil War, they fought and they were just having a conversation while they were fighting. They were
Mhm.
practically sparring with each other. So, how's the kids? You know, how's it going? Yeah, they were
That
just
was a
having
good
a good
scene
time.
too.
Yeah, that was a heck of a scene at that Driven Airport. Yeah, so that's about it.
That's about it.
That's
It's
about
about our listen.
it.
I think that you should tell me the breakdown of the King and the Queen of the Ring. Like who were the last two to go up against each other, and we make a bet. If we have opposing picks on both of them, we make
Okay.
a bet, and then the loser has to go back and reread all of the original 2099 shit from Marvel.
Is that a bad thing? I never read all of the 2099 shit.
You'll find out.
Oh god,
Because I'm gonna be right.
will
Who do-
you?
Who do maybe?
Okay, so
Who do
as
we got for the
for
men's?
SmackDown has
Yeah.
not been finalized until tomorrow night, as of recording. But I know for Raw, Gunther's going into the finals, and for SmackDown, I think it's Randy versus. I don't remember.
Oh no.
I don't remember who he's going into for the semifinals, who he's going against. But I think end of the day, it's going to be Gunther versus Randy.
Uh-huh.
And I think Gunther's going to win.
Oh, that is just not okay.
You're the only person I've seen that says that. But I think Gunther's going to win. As for the women's side, well, SmackDown was very surprising because not only did Tiffany Stratton get eliminated, but so did Jade Cargill, which I did not see coming. She got herself eliminated. But I think that might have been the best way to end that match. You have Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax. That's an unstoppable force versus an immovable object, basically.
Exactly.
And it's going to be a heck of a match regardless. But the fact that Jade got herself disqualified kind of sucks. And if she had won, it would have been Jade versus Bianca in the semifinals.
Oh, it's Randy versus Tamatanga.
That's it, Tamatanga. And Tamatanga's definitely not getting to the finals of King of the Ring. I know Randy's he's got some history Tama Tonga, and he's ready to beat some shit out of him, which he did during the last pay-per-view. But at the same time, he's got to go up against the whole bloodline realistically. And I think at that point, that's when Kevin Owens is going to come back and going to help him out. So he's going to run some interference with the bloodline. And then Randy's going to be able to RKO Tama Tonga out of nowhere and take the victory. And then it'll be him and Gunther in Saudi on Saturday. And I think just with the push they've been giving Gunther, it's going to be Gunther. I think Randy doesn't really gain anything from becoming King of the Ring. It's something he's never done, sure. But again, he's had a 20-year career right now. He doesn't really need that. But Gunther is on the up. He could definitely benefit from winning King of the Ring.
Nobody else would, though. Rob, listen to me. If Gunther won King of the Ring, we would have to listen for a whole fucking year about how he is the king. Every single time he speaks, it's going to be about that, and it's not going to be just about respecting the. It's going to be that's
how it's been every time.
Bad.
Every king has done that.
But that's like all Gunther does as it is now. So it's just going to be the exact same shit we have now, except instead of saying the ring, he's going to say the king.
Yeah, he's not the ring general. He's the king general. Yeah.
it's oh god.
Look, Tama Tonga's definitely not winning it. If Tama Tonga wins that, that's just weird. I don't see that happening.
I don't know. They're trying to really push the new bloodline, man. They're trying to really push the new bloodline.
They don't need that either. They're doing a job right now of making them a strong opposing force without becoming King of the Ring, you know? Just think of Tama Tonga backstage right before his match last Friday. He was going like a fucking claptrap from Donkey Kong Country. He's growling kind of weird. He's practically foaming at the mouth. But yeah, he does not need King of the Ring, because I don't need a King of the Ring that just growls. It's just fucking weird. As for Queen of the Ring,
I don't know, man. I really don't want you to be right.
Or who do you think it's going to be? You think it's going to be Randy?
No.
Or do you think it's going to be Tama?
No. Well, no.
So you think
because they're in the bloodline? Bottom line, in the bloodline, they're not going to be having some dude walk around with a goddamn robe or a crown.
No.
It's just not going to happen. Unless they completely redesign it just for the bloodline, like they did the briefcase for Damian Priest.
I mean, the briefcase has been redesigned numerous times.
You're right. Randy Orton really wouldn't benefit much from it.
No,
but
it's just another thing on his list of accolades. But he's had so many, it's not really anything he needs.
I mean, maybe he's thinking, that he wants to play some Pokemon and collect them all.
Yeah.
That's always a possibility. I can't. It's like I am trying to picture Gunther in my head right now as the king. And he's going to look even more ridiculous than he already does. And I'm just not looking forward to it. I am just not looking forward to it. I'm going to hate it as much as I hate Williamson writing comic books. I can't disagree with you on that one.
Gunther. I will never understand your hatred of Gunther.
He's boring and No, he's not. He's boring. When was the last time he cut an amazing promo?
I don't remember the last time he cut a promo.
You don't remember the last time he got on the mic and spoke? He does it all the fucking time.
That's just the exact me the last time Kevin Owens had a promo. I don't fucking remember.
He is on the mic every single show.
He hasn't been there the past couple of weeks.
He was just there.
Kevin Owens?
No, why? You know damn well we're talking about Gunther.
No, but I just said Kevin Owens.
You,
I don't
Quit
remember the
acting.
last time Kevin Owens had a promo.
we're not talking about Kevin
I know,
Owens.
but
We're
that's
talking about
my
Gunther.
point. I don't remember the last time some people had promos. Like,
Gunther does it all the time, and it's been the exact same one since I started fucking watching wrestling again.
yeah,
But anyway, okay, so Lyra Valkyria, she
Yes.
beat out Io Sky.
Yes.
That's okay. So
that was an upset, but that was a
that
good
was
match.
that was a very good match, and it wasn't an upset for me. I told you I think Lyra is gonna beat her. Nia Jax versus Bianca Belair.
That could go
There's
honestly either way.
Either
but
way,
either way, like at the end of the day, Bianca's knee is injured after the last match. Right, she was limping a lot.
yeah, she was, wasn't she?
Yeah, so I don't know if they'll play that into the scenario. Bianca, fuck, like you have
Lyra
Lyra,
versus- Yeah,
which would be amazing, but like she's literally fresh off the trade waiver. Like she just got drafted to the main roster like 3 weeks ago.
she
right?
did, dude. But
It
I
would
mean,
be amazing if she won Queen of the Ring. But at the same time, on the other hand, you have Bianca Belair, who has never won Queen of the Ring, but could also have a huge benefit from it. But at the same, like
also.
because she's a huge star, and she could have that push. She hasn't had a 20-year career, and it's an accolade she can add to her growing list of accolades. Right, like she is in the long run technically a new super, like not I say technically new, but like she's been around what 6 years. She could totally be Queen of the Ring, right? I could see that happening. She's tag team champion right now, so they might bring that into effect. You have Nia Jax, who is a potential right now, and I could also see them giving Nia Jax Queen of the Ring.
Because they continue to try and push her, but nobody, like none of us, the watchers, want to see her in anything. So if they're gonna push her, pushing her toward Queen of the Ring, that makes sense, I guess. It's just It feels a whole lot of like, hey, we're shoving her down your throat.
I'll be honest, like Nia in her first run, I didn't care. I wasn't impressed. I didn't care for it. When she came back, she didn't look any different. It was the exact same wrestling style, it's the exact same character, exact same everything. But recently, I feel like she's improved because I'm actually enjoying her matches a little bit more. Right? She's not making as many mistakes. She's actually getting a little more silly with the crowd. She's working the crowd a little bit better. She's not making too many moves that look like they're actually injuring her opponents. I feel like she's gotten better as a performer and as an athlete. So I could see her as Queen of the Ring too. Like I could see all three of them as Queen of the Ring. Which is kind of crazy.
I think that I think Bianca's a tag team champ right now. Here's my points that follow into it. Nia Jax, they continue to try and push her. Putting her on Queen could be a way of them doing that, hoping that'll be the last big thing that they do to give her a push. And then it's like, sorry, you just didn't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Queen and King and the Queen of the Ring is disposable.
Yeah, it really only lasts for a limited time, and then they just brush it off.
Right. So it could work as this is your big final push to get the crowd into Nia Jax. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's that in Nia's favor. I can't think of anything against her favor other than the points of the other people. Bianca Belair, like you said, she does have an injured knee. Will she even be able to wrestle on Friday? I don't know. But if she is, she's got a couple of things. One, she is the tag champ, like you mentioned, and she's also driving Jade Cargill right now.
Yeah.
And not saying that Jade Cargill really needs the help, but they are using them. They are using Bianca to drive her and keep her at the top real quick. Because I mean, she's a fucking superstar. They just need to keep those two together for Cargill to solidify that status. Does that make sense?
I mean, Cargill has said on a number of occasions that I've seen with some interviews that when she went to AEW, it was still a fresh company, and while the men's division did have some older superstars to help guide them there, the women's division was basically 100% new people. And even though they did have some of the men's division, some of the talent from the men's division that were seasoned superstars to help guide them along, ultimately they were just left to their own devices. They didn't have anybody seasoned in their own group to help them in matches and whatnot, right? So that's why it also took her so long to come to actual television after being brought over to WWE, is because she was spending so much time at the development center.
Yep.
Yeah, at the performance center, just training and learning from fucking like legends, which I think was a great move. And now pairing her up with Bianca as tag champs, like obviously she's a huge acquisition for WWE. So making her tag champs in her first 6 months, great choice. She is a force to be reckoned with. They've made a great job of making her a status symbol, and pairing her with Bianca, who was basically the face of the women's division through the pandemic. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It just makes sense. So Bianca is going to help carry her through some matches and give her some pointers and teach her some shit and bring her up through WWE, because end of the day, WWE wrestling does things so differently from any other promotion.
Fucking A.
They have a lot more rules when it comes to safety. They have their own way of doing things with matches. They have a different style compared to anybody else. Some wrestlers have had a hard time with that, like Daniel Bryan, back when the Nexus joined, right?
Yeah.
Wade Barrett has a funny anecdote about Daniel Bryan, because when they first came out on Raw back in, I think it was 2009, 2010, and they just ripped the shit out of the set and beat everyone up. Announcers, Josh Roberts, I think that was his name. He was the ring announcer, like the Samantha Irvin.
I don't know.
Yeah. They were told to just they were part of the initial NXT class, and it was just 8 guys, and they were told to go out and just rip everything up. And this was like the week of the last episode of NXT when they were going to announce the winner, and they had no clue what was going to happen next. And then they were told to go to Raw and just destroy the set, just go crazy. But the difference is that 7 of those guys came up at the Performance Center and came up on NXT and learned all the WWE rules of like no choking, no excessive swearing, etc., etc. Daniel Bryan spent time on the indies where they do things very differently. So they go out on Nexus, on Raw as Nexus, and start tearing shit up. And then on camera, Daniel Bryan has Josh Roberts by the tie, fucking choking him on camera. Right. And Josh Roberts like, ah! Like he did not come back next week because he was fired. Because that is a rule that he was not aware of, because he didn't come up as the other guys did until like weeks later, months later, they brought him back to go against the Nexus. But like
spitting is also another one of those rules.
Yeah. I mean, fucking spitting in people's faces, maybe just because of
in
Montreal Screwjob, but like
spitting on the other talent or on a ref is one of those rules that will get you immediately fired. But if you like spit like
on your hand,
shit,
like Jay and The Rock do,
The Rock, then there's one other person. That's gonna bug me. But anyway,
Jay does
that doesn't matter. Yeah, Jay does it. The Rock did it, but there's one other person I'm thinking of, and
I don't know who else does it. But yeah, like it's perfect for Jade to get that pairing with Bianca, is basically what I'm trying to say, because it brings her up with WWE style.
Exactly. And with that going on, while sure, Bianca could rock it, and they could also go with the whole storyline of, just Queen Bianca, which, I mean, that's something that they could wholeheartedly just roll into. There's enough girls there that are part of Bianca's clique that could roll, but it just doesn't feel necessary unless it would be a setup for it to be a jealousy angle 6 months down the road where Jade gets tired of Bianca's shit, and then it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Then finally, Lyra Valkyria is one bad mamma jamma. She always has been. I've seen a few of her big ass matches in NXT, and she was just jaw dropping. Clamored for her and Tiffany to get pulled up to the main roster, and they both did, and I am so happy to see it. Lyra is top tier talent, and I think that she's getting such a crazy strong push and already being allowed to cut in-ring promos and shit. I think that she has a very strong potential to be Queen of the Ring, just to kick her off with that kind of push, because really the only other thing that has been introduced as far as her is how badass she is in the ring and how much she tears people apart, and that she's best buds with Becky.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Like, I saw a Reddit comment earlier today about Lyra saying that we're basically looking at the next phase of the women's division.
That's what
the future saying. Not the next, but the future phase of the women's division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Lyra Valkyria is that.
We're watching that growth currently. Yeah. Yep. So remember this come up because it's important. Yeah. If whether she wins Queen or not, I could see it happening, because that would be almost an upset to have a freshly drafted person from NXT win Queen of the Ring right away. That would be amazing to see. That would be, I would say, very unexpected.
I would say it's very unexpected, and this is going to sound like I'm just being a shit, but it's very anti-Vince.
Oh, God, yeah.
and
if Triple H wants to cement how different he is and how far away from we are for the Vince era, that's how you fucking do it.
Yeah. And I mean, the second that they could say professional wrestler on TV, they did.
Yeah. That was like the second Vince was fully ousted from the company. Triple was like, okay, now fuck this, we're entertainers. The company is called World Wrestling Entertainment. Call yourselves wrestlers. Like, what the...
Yeah, exactly.
Vince got pissed off over people saying title shot.
Yeah, or calling it a belt.
Yeah. Which
it's a championship.
It's a fucking belt.
Fucking belt.
He was so weird.
Did you put it around your waist, fasten it with shit, and like leave it there? Like around your waist. Yeah, that's a belt.
Yep. Anyway, before we go on too much further, let's get in some comics. You want to hit us off with the honorable mentions and our first book while I run to the washroom, because I really got to go.
Sure, no problem. 39 minutes into it. Let's kick a timestamp, shall we? Just going to go ahead, pause here for a brief commercial, and we will be right back. But not for you live listeners. All right, so here we are. And this week, for honorable mention, we've got John Constantine, Hellblazer, Death in America, number 5, The Batman First Night, number 3, Justice League Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, number 7. For the main show, Titans number 11, that'll be from me. Wonder Woman number 9, brought to you by Rob. Catwoman 65, I'm taking that one, and Rob will finish up the main show with Alan Scott, the Green Lantern number 6. On the bonus show, he's going to start that off with Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 27. Nightwing, number 114. I'll take that one. Green Lantern War, number 9 from Rob, and I will finish the bonus show up with Superman, number 14. before we go ahead and kick into here, go ahead, take this moment to tell every single family member, every single friend you've got, and 3 of your neighbors to tune in and listen to the podcast. There. All right. Thanks. Appreciate that. Welcome back. We'll kick things off by Meat Titans number 11, written by Tom Taylor, art from Lucas Meyer, colors from Adriano Lucas, lettering from Wes Abbott, with a cover from Chris Samney and Mateus Lopez. So I'll kick this off by saying right away that I was wrong. The orange-colored skin does not mean Tamaranian in any way. My co-hosts were right. I was wrong. I'm glad I got to say this while Rob couldn't listen. But this is a girl named Vanessa, or used to be. She's obsessed with becoming a hero. She starts training like crazy, and with the help of Dr. T.O. Morrow, she becomes a super-powered hero. But she pushes her powers too far for her body to handle, and Morrow says she just collapses, body dies. Morrow says, save the brain, and that's what they do. That's what we saw at the last issue, and again in here, a cybernetic body that has all the powers of the Titans. And had their brain programmed to believe that the Titans are all evil robot replacements of themselves, and she's been programmed to save the Titans. So she's sent against the robots with instructions to not stop, and crashes into the Titans tower. Now, while she was on her way there, Nightwing has an unusual encounter with himself. Sursenrar is a private code word he's given to him. He's got a secret subconscious like Batman does, but his is just a private table to talk to himself, kind of. It's not a separate personality. It's in this conversation, during the 20 minutes that Raven sleeps per night, it's taking place in a 7-minute section of that. And while he's in there, that's when he realizes Raven is not who she says she is. Vanadia, formerly Vanessa, the new, I guess, Titans Amazo, that's what Rob and Brandon called it. She's clobbering the Titans and stabs Raven through the stomach. She yells at Gar when he shows concern, and then teleports to hell so she can heal, and to say that she wasn't ready and that she will not allow harm to come to her Titans. So we have 2 women, one that's good and thinks that the Titans are evil and wants to destroy them, and one that's evil and wants to protect them. So that's not how it usually goes, but I can't wait to see where it lands. I do enjoy the interior a whole bunch, even though the cover itself wasn't my favorite art style. Here, let me take a second real quick to show you what that looks like. Here we go. We will hook that up. Perfect. Awesome. All right. So that's what we are looking at. That's the cover that I'm talking about right there. But I really, really, really enjoyed the interior art a whole bunch. The cover itself, like I said before, it's not my favorite style, but it is a style that I have seen more of recently within comic books as of late, at least in DC Comics. I've been seeing it pop up from time to time. That's what I was trying to say. In any case, so in that style, it looks pretty good. It's the interiors detail, the color, the lightning, what you would expect from Lucas Meyer, of course, and Adriano Lucas. Lighting and shade just works. It all works so well together in the issue. It's great. And literally the sheer WTF of everything in the Titans has me clamoring for the next issue as soon as I put this down. It's so crazy because we've got a book with Dick in it. Dick's got a lot of shit going on in Nightwing. And I'm reading this with an open mind. It is written by the same person. Now, that's the only problem that I have with this, is that Nightwing is doubly occupied with big shit going on in the Nightwing book, as per the usual, while big shit is going on in this book too. And obviously it's pretty damn big. Now, it's really not reductive to call Vanadia the Titans Amazo, because I mean, she's a robot, a cybernetic robot or whatever. She's a robot with a human brain that can be programmed. I mean, I'm not sure what else I would call that. And she's got I don't even think I mentioned that. I apologize. She has all of the powers of all of the Titans. And I mean all of them somehow. And I'm not sure how it's possible, but she does. In a particular panel here, let me see if I can find that for you. But in a particular panel here, you'll see where she actually has two different colored bolts coming out. Give me just a moment here. All right. Well, that's taking just a tiny bit longer than I would have liked. But if you give me just a few more seconds. You see on these panels here, she's got two different kinds of color going on, green, and then she's got fire here from Starfire. You see she's got she's got cybernetic implants. She actually boom tubed earlier. She can manipulate her hand into whatever shape she wants, much like Cyborg. I'm not sure where the animal part comes in, but as far as the rest of it, like you can see, it's really simply put oh geez. Quite literally the Amazo. So, Rob is welcome back, Rob. You got back pretty much just in time.
Oh, right.
Do you got a fan on or something?
Yes, I meant to ask you earlier. I have AC on.
All right. Yeah, I can hear it like crazy until you start talking a little bit. Then the noise reduction kicks in. Sweet. So anyway, I'll kick off my wrap up. I'll restart my wrap up real quick. There's two women, one that's good and thinks the Titans are evil and wants to destroy them, and one that's evil and wants to protect them. And that is not how it usually goes, but I can't wait to see where it lands. Like I mentioned just a minute ago, I enjoyed the interior art It's phenomenal. The cover, though not my favorite style, was done very well. It's just the interior's detail, color, lighting, and shade. Meyer and Lucas together are great, like Frosted Flakes shit. And again, the sheer what the fuck of everything that the Titans has been going through and is going on with the Titans right now is me clamoring for the very next issue as soon as I put that one down. My summary was really fast, and I kind of rambled here just for a little while. But that was the way that I read it, super fast. Both times, yeah. I think it was just fucking great. I gave it an 8.75 out of 10.
Right on. Titans is definitely one that, like, I'm enjoying it. It's not one I'm super excited for, and I don't know why.
I think if I'm allowed to garner a guess, I would go. So I would say that it's because I think you suffer from Nightwing fatigue.
Oh no, I actually has nothing to do with Nightwing. I think it's Raven, which is kind of weird. I feel like maybe it's just this story I'm not super heavy on, or maybe I just wanted to get to the point. It's this whole thing with Raven, I think, is what I'm pinpointing is the issue that with the Shadow Self
Queen.
Yeah, like I don't want another long drawn out story. If you're teasing this Darkwing and Queen thing, just get to the point and then give us the misadventures of the Titans. You know, that's what I want to see in a team book. What I love in Justice League books is when you have a story arc and then you have a story arc and then you have a story arc. They don't necessarily have to connect. They just have grand adventures as a team because that's what matters. And you don't have to use the whole team all at once. But so far, I get the Titans is a little different.
That's why you like World's Finest books.
I mean, World's Finest books have only ever had 2 people.
There's World's Finest Teens Titans too. I put a lot of S's in there that didn't need to be there.
Yeah,
I think we need to watch some Letterkenny.
Fucking Squirrely Dan over here. Take
that's what I likes about you, Rob.
5 to 10% off there, Squirrely Dan. Jesus, Squirrely Josh. No, but like going back to Jeff Johns' Justice League, Grant Morrison's JLA, even James Robinson and fucking Brad Meltzer's Justice League, like they were not long drawn out stories. The Justice League stories that are in Mark Waid as well is a great example. They were just, you had a story and then you had a story and then you had a story. They didn't necessarily connect, and you didn't necessarily have every member of the team. You just had, here's a villain that you need to have a group of heroes go up against, and they just also happen to be on the Justice League. And maybe you'll have somebody that's not on the Justice League show up. Titans could be very much the same. I know Titans being a longtime group of friends is a little different. Chances are they're all going to be there. But I love the stories in group books where it's an element or a villain where you need to have the group. I don't need a long, drawn-out story to catch my interest because I'm already interested. Right? But that's just me. I
get what you're saying.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like we're getting. Okay, so this was not as long of a setup as, by any stretch of the imagination, as Nightwing was. But I mean,
yeah, but that's what I'm worried about. They're both Tom Taylor, and
we got.
Heartless has taken the entire fucking run.
We have right, but it went over. Heartless has been a background character for. What do you got? I guess you would. So like 3 or 4 arcs.
Oh, literally the entire run. Like he showed up at the end of the first arc, and now he's finally getting his comeuppance in the last arc.
Well, I mean, he's finally getting into the thing, and it's just something that I've been slowly waiting for. I mean, a slow burn with Tom Taylor is a good burn. I promise.
It is a good burn. I just I don't know if I want to have 2 at the same time.
I don't think that's what we're getting. I think that with this next issue coming out next month, it's number 12. It's going to be 1 year. I think it's going to be a big bang of an issue. we just saw, like I said, we've got the big selling point of this thing is that there's two characters here, one that's good and wants to kill the Titans to protect them, and one that's evil and wants to protect them because she calls them her Titans.
Yeah.
And
she wants them for nefarious purposes. That's the thing. She wants them to be her generals when she takes over the planet.
Right. And I find that to be, for me, that's a pretty interesting conflict.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I believe. Oh no! Wait, no. Never mind. I retract that whole statement. But anyway, I mean, obviously, this is going to be something that's. I want to say it's going to have continuing repercussions at least for a while. I think that we're going to get into a Darkwing Queen story that may take 3 to 6 issues to get through, but I think it's going to end up being one of those stories where like I'll go back and read the fucking thing, and shit that don't happen. That just don't happen. Like Blackest Night, Killing Joke, No Man's Land, Final Crisis, Lightning Saga.
Oh, Lightning Saga is so good.
And who is Donna Troy? I mean, really, Nightfall, of course. But for DC, that's like nearly it for me to go back and reread, pick up for a comfort book. Killing Joke. Is that weird that that's a comfort book for me?
Maybe.
Anyway. And that's the topic for another kind of episode.
That's the Geek Matrix goes to therapy.
Right? With Dr. Katz. But I think that's the big thing here. I feel like we're going to see more of Raven becoming protective of them, and I think it's going to blur the line a little bit of it being just her generals.
Right. That could very well be. And we see Nightwing starting to piece things together. We get the revelation that he has also fractured his mind with 2 different personalities. His own
No, it's not 2
version.
personalities. I made a distinction of that. There is one. It's more like he's set up his own personal coffee table with a password.
Yeah, basically. It's his own Zur-En-Arrh, but not Zur-En-Arrh.
Yeah, it's not a separate personality. It's just a chance for him to talk to himself for 7 minutes during the 20 minutes that Raven is asleep.
Yes, where he can basically it's his password protected notes app.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's the locked folder on your phone. Where you keep your passwords, your porn, and something else that starts with P.
Pokemon?
Yeah, your shinies.
Your shinies.
Nobody touching my shinies.
Nobody get your hands up. Nobody better let a finger on my pokey finger.
Poke finger. That's my poke finger.
That's my poke finger.
All right. Well, all in all, I did enjoy this issue. I don't think we're actually going with the name Franken-Titan. It's more of an Amazo
Fear the
analog.
Franken-Titan. Yeah,
this character.
I gave you that pop too, by the way. I admitted I was wrong. You guys straight up said we're gonna get another Titans Amazo. You were right. I defer.
I don't even remember this, but like
I do.
I'm not against it. Like I think it just makes perfect sense that the Titans will have their own kind of version of an Amazo, and Professor Ivo was involved, so it only makes sense. I'm okay with it. It's not your typical Amazo story. It's a person that wanted to be a Titan and did everything that possibly could to be a Titan, excelling at fucking everything: physicality, mental prowess, combat, and then
got duped by Dr. Morrow.
Yeah, just their heart gave out, and then a few years later they were brought back as a robot with all the powers of the Titans.
All the
I
powers,
I
the boom
think
tubes, even.
exactly, which is wild.
Right?
I like the character. I think it's an interesting addition to the mythos. Um, I'm not against it, but like I just want this whole Dark Winged Queen thing to hurry up.
I think you got at least. I think you're looking at 6 months.
Oh god. All right. I like
said
Raven.
3 to 6 issues. That's 3 to 6 months.
I like Raven as a character. I don't like when a team book has too much focus on one character, because I feel like you're drawing away from the rest of the characters.
But we
right?
really don't. We've got Tempest, who just came back from being part of that cult.
Was he even showing in? Did he even show up in this issue? I don't remember seeing him.
Actually, no, I don't think he did.
Yeah, so that's exactly my point.
But
you have a character that just joined the team, and the first issue back, he's like,
you got all this shit going on with Nightwing, him being alone in him not being alone in his suspicions, but him and Starfire haven't spoken yet. You remember in the last issue, Starfire seemed at the very end a little suspicious.
Yeah.
So they haven't spoken yet. And then we've got everything that's going on with Gar. And she took away his fucking emotion.
Yeah.
But for some reason he still cares about her. He just doesn't care about everybody else anymore.
Yeah. So there's some stuff going on.
There's some stuff going on. Be patient, Sapper. Did you read all the way through did you read all the way through all of the Injustice books?
No.
Did you ever read any of them?
Some.
You didn't like it, did you?
That's not that I didn't like it. It's just by the time I got around to it, when it first came out, I was in a point in time where I was like, it's a video game tie-in. I don't fucking care. And then later on, when I hear people raving about it, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll check it out because it's got like multiple years and maybe there's some good stories. And I've seen some panels that are kind of interesting. And now it's just too big and I haven't gotten around to it. I have them all. Dad got all the fucking books, but I just I haven't gotten around to actually reading it.
You really should.
Yeah.
Seriously, for some free time reading, that is what you should pick up. And it might build your confidence a little bit in what is ultimately a slow burn Tom Taylor story.
Oh, like I don't dislike slow burn Tom Taylor. It's just I don't want to have two of them at the same time.
Oh, I dig that. But I don't think we're gonna. I mean, fuck me, dude. It's what issue are we on? Nightwing
114 just came out.
Right. So he's been writing for
25 issues, if my math is right.
Okay.
So 27, 28.
Yeah, like over 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't think we're looking at that.
Okay. I hope not. All in all, Titans number 11 for me is going to get 8.5 out of 10. Quite enjoyable for the issue.
Quite enjoyable for the issue. I wonder if you're going to describe the next issue the same way.
I can describe it rather quickly because not much happened. This is Wonder Woman number whatever 9. Sacrifice part 2.
Long live the king.
Yeah, this is written by Tom King with King of the Ring. By the way, breaking news. Apparently Triple H has announced that the winners of the King and Queen tournament, the therefore dubbed King and Queen of the Rings, will also get title opportunities at SummerSlam.
Oh, okay. I'm doubling down then. I 100% it's gonna be Lyra Valkyria.
Yeah.
And I 100% hate that it's gonna be Gunther.
Yeah, you know for sure it's gonna be Gunther now. Because he's gonna get a title shot at Cody.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a match people have been waiting for.
Nope.
You okay? Everybody else, everybody else has been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for that since last year, since he was still IC champ. Anyway,
No, you know what I was thinking about the other day?
what?
Like, if I could pick any one person that's alive to go up against one person that has died in the wrestling ring, I figured out who it would be.
Macho Man versus Cody.
Nope. Eddie Guerrero
Ooh, versus Cody.
versus Cody Rhodes. I
Damn.
knew it was going to be Cody. But yeah,
Yeah,
tell me that
I mean,
that
he's
wouldn't that
the
if
face of
it,
the company right now.
that will, but Eddie Guerrero versus Cody Rhodes,
Hell yeah.
100%. That if that could have happened, that would be one of those matches that would have shown up in WWE 2K24 in showcase mode. It
Oh,
would
God,
have
yeah.
been one of those legendary matches people still talk about 20
Yeah,
years down the road.
that would have been fantastic. Holy shit.
Yep.
Damn. I
Their
wish I
their
was-
styles would have complemented each other
Oh, so
so much. It
so
would have
fucking
just
well.
been, it would have been dancing in that ring. It would have been wonderful.
Yeah. God damn, that would have been good.
So now I need you to put some thought into that and put some thought into it and let me know who yours would be.
Yeah, I'll have to think about it.
You'll have to wonder.
I'd have to wonder. Maybe 9 times. It's about as many times as I wondered why I'm reading this book.
Fucking
Yes, it's a Wonder Woman number 9. As I said, written by Tom King with art from Daniel Sampere, colors from Toma Mori, and letters from Clayton Cowles. Simply put, in this issue, nothing happens. And in the backup, okay, so you do get 20 pages of Wonder Woman having mental adventures with, and I say mental because not only are they fucking mental, but they're also all in her mind with
Yep.
basically a it's her own personal Zur-En-Arr.
Right.
With fucking what's his name? Holy shit.
Steve
Trevor, thank you. Just in various places. They're battling demons in hell. They're in an orchard of roses. They're in Paris. They're in space. They're in a fucking Keanu Reeves dojo for some reason. The only interesting page for me was when it was just Steve and Diana talking as Diana snaps the Sovereign's neck, because that was ripped straight out of I don't honestly remember what fucking book it was. Might have actually been an issue of Wonder Woman when she snapped Maxwell Lord's neck. Like, it is
Final Crisis.
No, it wasn't Final Crisis. That was well before Final Crisis.
Wait,
That was during Infinite Crisis.
no, not Infinite Crisis. Jesus,
But I don't know if that took place in Infinite Crisis or if it was in Wonder Woman or if it was in both.
it was.
Probably.
I mean, it took place in Infinite Crisis.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a major linchpin of the story.
Yeah. Like it that one page forced me to look up the page of her doing as Maxwell Lord, and it is like the exact same posing.
Yep,
The page layout is exactly the same. I thought that was rather cool.
definitely a tip of the hat.
Yeah, definitely tip of the hat, and I think lended itself well to this story. That was really the only highlight. But it's just Diana and Steve talking the entire time in various places about how Diana is locked in prison. She can't escape. She wants to give up. And then just as she's about to give up, Steve convinces her not to give up. And then she wakes up and the Sovereign opens her cell and then monologues to Trinity in the future about how Diana is about to get the upper hand on him. That's the end. Oh, and at some point she eats a rat.
Oh, but she doesn't eat the rat.
No,
she just tells them.
She eats the male rat, and then the female rat shows up looking for her husband. And then she gets sad that she ate the male rat, and now apparently the female rat told her it's okay, I understand.
I fucking get it. I would have ate his ass too.
I don't know what the fuck happened. In the backup,
You don't know what happened? I mean,
with the
Wonder
rat,
Woman had a bunch of doubts talking to imaginary
had
Steve
a
and loves
breakdown.
him and conquers her own doubts and says, "What's next to the bad guy?"
That's basically what I just said. I mean specifically with the rats.
It's like
What
fucking
the fuck is going on with the rats? It's bloody weird. Anyway,
I am the
World's
rat
Finest,
queen. I can do
part
anything.
6. Oh dear God! In our backup, also written by Tom King with art from Belen Ortega and colors from Alejandro Sanchez and letters from Clayton Cowles. Trinity is meeting Zatanna in San Francisco because she needs some help with magic, as both John and Damien have been turned into corgis somehow through some magic. And the rest of the backup is Trinity just trying to have some adventure, saving the day, and also take care of these two boys as corgis before she is able to revert them, or they get reverted. It was thanks to Cersei, by the way. Cersei did this, and then they revert back to human form, and then instantly begin squabbling like they're boys again, like they're dogs again. I mean, so that happened. 3.5 out of 10. I don't know what to say about it. I don't know what to say about it at all at this point. It was an issue. Not much happened, as I already said. Literally not much fucking happened.
No, it was more of last issue with basically you're just fucking wandering around, talking to Steve, knowing that 100% knowing without a shadow of a doubt that he's just a figment of her imagination.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's
This
is the slow burn thing I'm talking about.
The incessant Bible verses are breaking me down. I will be a submissive housewife. Belch. Barf.
Okay.
Burp.
Burp.
I don't even know why this title is.
Wait. Why did you burp and then throw up and then burp?
Because there was vomiting and heartburn tied into it.
Holy shit. Sometimes they do go hand in hand. So.
Sometimes they do. It
sucks.
It was mostly drivel. What wasn't drivel was amazing art. Matter of fact, I have been making it a thing for the past several months now where I won't let amazing art raise the score up of a book too far. However, that tribute page to the Maxwell Lord page did bump this up an entire point for me just because of how well it was done.
Yeah.
Past that, I don't know why this title is even a thing. I can't believe that anyone could defend this story without relying 100% on the political message within. And there's air quotes going on for people who are listening to this beyond the message. It's really weak. I get what they're saying, but it's so slow. It's so weak. And if I'm being honest, I think it is. Muddled. It's not even. Yeah, it's definitely muddled, but it's losing sense of what the fuck it is. Is this supposed to be about religious oppression? Is this supposed to be about female suppression? Is this supposed to be about taking away women's rights? Is this supposed to be about railing against the patriarchy? Is this supposed to be a representation of the government trying to control people? If you talk to fucking 7 different people, you'll get 7 different answers. That's how weak this is. If you're going to write an important statement, write that fucking statement so loud that people know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Or write a Wonder Woman story. There's a novel idea.
Yeah, we've had 2 issues of her actually kicking ass.
Yeah. And throughout that, it took 9,000 fucking words of dialogue. The art is fucking amazing. It's flat out fucking amazing. There's just no good story built around it. It would have gotten a 3.5. It got raised up to a 4.5 because of that badass tribute battle.
Yeah. Wow, you actually scored it higher than me. Holy shit. You're joking.
Nope. Strangely enough.
I gave it a 4. That's wild. How in the fuck did this happen?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I guess I was just trying not to be negative.
I was trying not to be too positive. See what happens when you don't act like yourself? Crazy shit happens.
Crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
Crazy shit happens. Okay, so we're meeting in the middle with a 4.25.
Yes.
And
that's fair.
That's fair. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on right meow to the next book. Catwoman number 65, written by Teenie Howard with art and colors by Ivan Chavrin, letters from Lucas Gattoni, and a cover from DNA himself, David Nakayama. I love his art.
It's just fantastic.
It really is. Like him, I right now I want to say him, Bruno Redondo, and Jessica Fong are just like my favorite cover artists. Oh, so much. Anyway, we are in the aftermath of last issue, and Viceroy wants proof that Catwoman is dead. From the Wrecking Crew and from the others. No dead body, no dead cat. That's what she says. Speaking of dead cat, we next go to Selena and her meeting with the cat god Bastet. I'm pretty sure that's the name. Pretty sure. Anyway, she's annoyed with Catwoman wanting to do her own thing and be her own boss. I mean, who the fuck you think you were getting in bed with, cat? Anyway, after her lecture and calling Selena a diamond, she brings Catwoman back to life one last time. So she finally now has just one life to live. How's it feel, Selena, to be just like us normal people again? She wakes up in the morning because, she was dead and all. And she sneaks out, takes out a guard, takes all of his gear. And as she's trying to make her way through the prison, which is exceptionally old school and completely off the books, she's found out. She's able to sneak into her Catwoman costume very quickly and then duck into the ventilation shafts. She's making her escape, and then she runs into a zombie of all things that she has to kick the shit out of before she snags a few artifacts and hightails it out of there. Zombie soldiers, that cannot be good. Next, she's in Transcoso, Brazil with Scandal Savage. Why? For an offer and to bring her in. Selena slaps the daylights out of Scandal, and then they're even and they become a team. Take out White Glove before she creates her super army, and they're going to start by stealing 2 things from Viceroy that she needs the most. Santa Espada and the Flamingo, Viceroy's 2 second-in-commands. The fucking art is killer, and I love it. The light work in this issue is awesome. So are the colors, but the light works are just awesome. The art itself is just badass. Chavrin and Tony, they make an excellent team. It's not a pairing that I would have spouted off the top of my head, but seeing it in this book, I have to say so now. As far as the story goes, Catwoman continues to be another one that I can't get enough of. So give me more. Catwoman got an 8.5 out of 10 from me.
Hell yeah. I will bury the lead right away and say the same score, 8.5 out of 10 for me for Catwoman number 65. This has been a heck of a story. It's one of those weird anomaly stories where it's one ongoing story with multiple parts, but each issue is its own story at the same time. And I love that aspect of this. It's interesting. It keeps it interesting. It keeps it flowing. It brings you variety. And it's, I think, an interesting direction for Catwoman currently. And even now, even though we're taking a step back in the direction, but in a direction that I enjoyed having Marquise be Catwoman's right-hand woman, technically. Just
Right.
being friends and partners, I thought that was an interesting dynamic until we found out the whole Scandal Savage thing. But now it's even more interesting because they're basically frenemies and they're working together. One could say best frenemies because they're really fucking close. But
Seem to be anyway.
yeah, for now. Yeah, one life to live left. Sucks for Catwoman, but the fact that she's not giving up. I mean, she's probably, how many heists did she have to do? Was it 12 or like 10, something like that? 7,
Not 9.
not 9. I don't remember how many like impossible heists she had to do. I know she used a couple of lives on one heist.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
twice.
I don't know. All
Right.
right, so yeah, some like 6. Let's go with 6.
But like, I don't think she finished her list, which sucks. But that's what's going to happen. At least she was able to accomplish some of it. So it was a cool idea, regardless. Art's fantastic.
Right.
Story is really good. I feel like we're getting down to the nitty gritty now, close to the end. Just ready to take on the villains. Probably 2 issues left in the story arc, and then we'll move on to something else. I'm assuming. I don't know for sure. But it's quite interesting. Very much a solid read. We're in part 7. So if you haven't been reading the arc, you got some catching up to do, but it is well worth your time. It's been a fun arc. So like I said, 8.5 out of 10 for Catwoman number 65. And finally, going to shine a light on our last book for the week. A final issue is Alan Scott, The Green Lantern number 6. All That May Become a Man, written by Tim Sheridan with art from Kian Sormi. Inks on pages 7 to 10 from Jordi Tarragona, and colors from Matt Herms with letters from Lucas Gattoni and a gorgeous cover from David Talaski. What a fucking cover that is. I need to get this a cover. I want to look at the variant covers, but I might get that cover because I like that cover. Anyway, starting off the present day, we see now present day Alan with full beard talking to somebody about his adventures back in the day in 1939 with the Red Lantern, where we have been covering throughout the 5 issues prior. We then flash back to that time where the JSA are taking on the Red Squadron with the powers of the Red Lantern energy at their behest or
Bequest
at their hands, at the snap of their fingers, at their will. While he and Johnny Ladd are kind of hiding because Johnny is not able to access his power. His ring is dead and needs to charge. Johnny is now also trying to teach Alan how to use his ring a little bit more because Alan is still semi-new at this. He doesn't even know how to form constructs properly. But he understands it has to do with his will, so he's trying to will it, and it's not working. The JSA are making some work of the Red Army, but Alan is getting the shit beat out of him until Johnny decides to get involved and then gets the shit beat out of him instead. Johnny is basically left to beaten to a bloody pulp practically on his deathbed, and then Alan gets a little bit pissed off, and with a simple, quiet no, screams out no, and then a large blast of green light erupts from his ring, but is then stopped right in front of the Red Army as they just laugh away the fact that their green energy cannot touch the red energy, but then he traps them in a bubble and figures that they are now just done. But then Johnny is able to wake up. The Red Lantern energy has taken over the Crimson Flame, and with that, kills the Red Army. And then the Crimson Flame leaves Johnny back to his own devices. Alan is a little pissed off, takes the ring from Johnny, and then arrests him. And then 6 weeks later, Alan and Doiby, or Derby, I keep saying Doiby, it's just his accent, Derby Dickles, are having a good moment, and Alan gets out of Derby's cab as the Green Lantern, giving him a little gift in the backseat as well, but also giving him a bit of publicity for his cab, as the great superhero Green Lantern is able to take his cab. Um, After all, he owes him one for bringing his lantern out a few issues ago. He goes to talk to Johnny about everything that's happened as Johnny's in prison um, in Manhattan. They have a few more conversations about power sets and time travels, or time travel, and sorry, no, I'm using S's too much as well, aren't I? And then they leave with a somber goodbye. Alan takes off, floats through the wall, and then Johnny then finally reveals that even though he doesn't have his ring, he still wields some control over the Crimson Flame. Then on the rooftop, Alan meets up with the head of the FBI, who still has a file on him about his secret life as a gay man. And Alan just says, "Look, shove it up your ass. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to be your go-to guy. I'm going to join the JSA, whatever, but I'm not going to do it at your behest. So you can fuck off. And if you release that, well, I've got some dirt on you too. So go fuck yourself." And that's where that is left behind. And then we get a brief monologue from Alan as we see all the people in his life and the places he's visited, living their lives and being happy. And then we jump back to the present day where Alan has finished his story. And we find out that he was talking to his son, Obsidian, which they then address as Obsidian then asks about his mother and the relationships he's had with women in the past, where the love was there, but it's just not the same love that he would feel for a man. And he did have to convince himself for a while because he didn't fully understand himself and had to push that into his mind. As we know, this is the thing that has happened many, many times in reality over the many decades from gay men from that time, a period of time, I mean to say. But then he monologues a bit more about time travel, and in an epilogue in 1941, we see that Alan did master the art of time travel through the ring, thanks to the nod from Johnny Ladd, and he was able to leave a letter with a photograph to his younger self, basically talking about his children and the JSA in the future. Not giving away too many details, but basically saying that things do get better and that you keep doing what you're doing and life will end up okay. Finish off with a splash page from the Justice Society in 1941, and it's a heck of a team. And that is where the story ends. That's it for Alan Scott for now. If you want more, you'll have to read Jeff Johns' JSA, at least for the next few issues, because it's ending at issue 12. That's in August, so it's coming soon. It was a heck of a story. I gotta say, I've seen some online discourse. Of course, some people don't really care about the whole Alan Scott being gay thing. They think it's stupid or forceful, and a lot of hate. And then there's some people just think, why do we care about these Golden Age characters? And other people just don't like the story. And that's fine. If you don't like the story, you don't like the story. But just, if you don't like the book, don't read it. It's the end of the day. Nobody's forcing you to read it. But I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was well done, especially for Tim Sheridan, because I've not been a great proponent for Tim Sheridan in the past, but I really enjoyed this, and I enjoyed meeting up at Fan Expo and talking about the book. And he definitely has a passion for this character, so I do hope that we do see more Alan Scott from Tim Sheridan. As for the realism and the Alan Scott is gay side for this, I think they handled it really well. And as I've said, a lot of it is rooted in the reality, and that I think is good, showing that this has happened, and this is the thing that could have even happened in your own family, for crying out loud. There's no reason to hate, because these are just people. All the while, we got a nice addition to Alan Scott's history, and it tied into the larger DC universe. I don't think there's much here to dislike, but if you dislike it, you have your reasons. You have your reasons. But doesn't mean you need to bash it incessantly if all you dislike is because he's gay.
Right.
Peace said. Peace out.
For loops.
8.75 out of 10.
I think it was an interesting way to wrap up the story. It was a very nice, clean wrap up to it. It was designed and sold as a mini, and it worked very well that way. The art was awesome throughout the entire series, and this issue was absolutely no different. The story was just a really good one to read. It's Alan Scott's origin, revamped, combining the universes like what we were told was going to happen. There's going to be some shit that's deleted. There's going to be some shit that's merged. Alan Scott was gay on Earth 2. Now he's gay here. Fucking deal with it.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say that much of his origin was really changed. I think the only thing that was really changed is he got the lantern early.
Yeah.
That was basically it. I mean, the whole thing with the green flame and the Starheart, that was kind of modified a little bit. More so added to. But ultimately, like, his origin's still intact.
But
with the train accident and everything.
Well, yeah. But and then it I feel like I feel like we went through this whole trip through his origin story to and you know his very beginnings to build on something with him and Obsidian, because and I personally hope that it is. I mean, Obsidian, Jade, and Alan Scott together in a little something, a story. It doesn't even have to be their own series or mini or anything, but to see them teaming up together, that would be badass.
Yeah, and I think also to give us a bit more explanation as to why Ruby might have some of the red energy, much like Jade, right? She's the perfect counterpart to Jade, and I really need to see Ruby and Jade meet up. I really do.
It would be it. I want to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I forgot to give my score. 8.25 out of 10.
Right on. Yeah, solid issue. All right. Well, with that, folks, that is our show. We are now. No, it's okay. It's not the show yet. Sorry, we need to do the top 3 favorite moment if you had one. So, you want me to kick things off?
Go ahead and kick things off. That's absolutely fine with me. Or I can go first. I don't care. It's up to you, man.
Whichever. All right, I'll go first this time. I very rarely do. I'll give you a chance to get your words together. So, number 3. Are we doing bonus books in our top 3 this time or no?
You can, because I have a very fine. I'll go first. Mine.
Well, like I can change it up on the fly, but like
I couldn't pick.
One of the bonus books is in my top 3.
I absolutely could not pick between 2 books for my third place. One is from main show and one is from the bonus show, and it just like it didn't feel right for it not to be mentioned. So they're there as a tie.
Right. Fair enough.
So you do what you want.
Okay. All right. So for number 3, I have Nightwing number 114. At number 2, I have Catwoman number 65. Actually, no, sorry, it's the other way around. Catwoman number 65 at number 3. Nightwing number 114 at number 2. And Alan Scott the Green Lantern number 6 at number 1. The Batman First Night number 3 is basically honorable mention number 3 for me. It just nearly beat out Nightwing, but that's just barely didn't make it. But it is very close to number 3 for me. Favorite moments, I honestly couldn't fucking find one that stood out for me apart from that fucking page in Wonder Woman number 9. There really wasn't anything else that stood out for me this week, which kind of sucked. Because
I had one moment that stood out for me. All right, for in third place, I could not pick. I had to go here. Both Alan Scott Green Lantern and Nightwing tied for third place. Second place went to Catwoman, and first place went to Titans this week for me. My favorite moment was Obsidian. Like, what are you gonna do? Develop an ironic weakness to wood?
Oh, yeah. Oh shit! You know what?
Fucking
I forgot
hilarious.
about that. I forgot about that. No. Honestly, that should have been my favorite moment. 'Cause I've been making that joke for the past year, and I've been like on the fence as to whether or not that was even like if anybody would take offense to that. But like, I don't think it's offensive. I think it's just kind of ironically funny.
it's just funny.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, shit. That should have been my favorite moment. Fuck. But honestly, that page in Wonder Woman #9, that was the only redeeming factor for that issue for me. So I'm not against giving it to that with the Maxwell Lord neck snap tribute.
Well, there you go. That's it, and that's that.
That's it, and that's that. And that is our show.
Indeed, it is. So thank you everybody for watching. We will be back next week. Yeah. We'll be back next week covering all of DC's weekly releases. Same geek time-ish. Same geek channel, always. All right. So we're getting out of here. You have to as well. Be careful out there. And remember, in the Geek Matrix, everybody has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone.
Peace.